Hello and welcome to day 5 of Vlogmas. Yesterday I went up into my loft and brought down my Christmas decorations, which is always a bit of palaver because we've got the world's smallest loft hatch, so everything has to come downstairs in really small boxes and it just takes absolutely forever to do. And what I've been doing this morning is sorting through those boxes, deciding what I'm going to use this year, what I'm going to pack up and put back up in the loft, and what I am ready to get rid of and redonate to the charity shop. And because I've only just been up into the loft, I've only just brought down my Christmas countdown candle. So do not look closely at the number on this candle because I'm a little bit late in lighting it. It'll be the first time I've used this. So I love this candle. I was inspired to buy it because I saw that Diane from Diane in Denmark always has a candle like this on her side during December. And if you're interested in watching more of her videos and getting some Danish hygge tips, that I will leave a link to her channel in the show notes underneath this video. So let's get lighting. I love this little rechargeable lighter. It recharges using a USB point, so I may be 5 days late, but hurrah, here comes Christmas. So here I am in my kitchen and I've got 5 really easy Christmas decor DIYs with you. So I'm going to roll the camera around and then you can have a look and see what I'm going to do. If you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I have been collecting all sorts of Christmas shaped biscuit cutters, picking these up in charity shops for 50p, 25p, and sometimes when there's a set of 3 nesting together for about £1 or £1.50. I'll leave a link to some of my thrifting videos down in the description underneath this video, so do take a look when you've finished watching today's video. So I've now got a whole bag full, and I've always said in my thrifting videos I was collecting these in order that I could make a really lovely Christmas display, a really simple Christmas display. So if I push those out of the way and bring on my glass biscuit barrel, this DIY is so easy. All I'm going to do is to decoratively arrange my cutters in here. And the big question I've got is, should I put fairy lights inside? So let me know in the comments whether I should leave this as is or add fairy lights. Now straight away I can see that this cutter isn't going to make the cut. I think I'll leave that one out because it's got the blue trim on it, and I shall use that for actually making some biscuits nearer to Christmas. I need to decide whether I want to try and get my Christmas trees to stand up around the edge and sort of fill in on the inside. So perhaps my plainer cutters, I've got this one here that's like a teardrop Christmas bauble. I think I might put that straight down inside and see whether I can get the others for the Christmas trees to stand up around the edge. And if it doesn't work, I will just tumble them all in together and just have a haphazard collection. In fact, it might look a bit contrived if I've got all my Christmas trees around the outside. I think they're all moving around anyway, so I might just go random. Just like that. So they're the first Christmas DIY. So these ones didn't fit in either. So again, I might put those to one side to actually use them when I bake biscuits later on. My second DIY involves these indoor narcissi. So if you caught my Vlogmas day 2 video, you'd have seen me planting up these little jam jars. Really easy to do. I had a little bit of leftover moss from my door wreath making actually last year, and I bought some narcissi and I just tumbled them into the pot, and I've been keeping the moss moist but not overwatering, so I don't want the bulbs to rot off. And I thought I would make them look a little bit more Christmassy and more intentional for this time of the year, because they won't be flowering until after Christmas now, by adding in some Christmas decorations. So again, I've been up in the loft and I save all the decorations from my Christmas door wreaths and for my table arrangements. I have actually this year bought some new decorations, these little candy canes, and I've taken off the hanging part and I thought I would decorate by adding that in, candy cane in to each of the pots, almost making it look like a swizzle stick in the cocktail. So I've got one for each of the pots. And then last year I had a Scandi inspired Christmas, and I bought loads of these little toadstools. And I have a Swedish friend, and I was asking her what the connection was between these toadstools and Scandinavia. And she said she didn't really know, but it was certainly a tradition where she was from. And she said perhaps it was because the toadstools are, in season, they're in the woodlands at the moment. But also she thought probably it was because they were red and white, and that looks really, really festive. So I've got enough, I think, for 2 in each pot. I'm just trying to slide them down without piercing through the bulbs. And then in my little box of goodies down here, seeing what else I've got that I can put in. So I've got some apples. So these are little picks, flower arranging picks. I've added to my drawers before. And also some tiny little baubles. You can see here I end up with collections of little baubles and trimmings that fall apart, and I don't like to throw them away. So a glitter ball in each, and then some tiny little mini Christmas tree baubles. I'm just going to sprinkle those in, and this is such a quick DIY. And then after Christmas I will probably take out all the red and add in some white decorations. I also found some silvery acorns and some silver baubles as well, so I think they will look really great after Christmas, in that lull between Christmas and New Year. And I'll take away some of the reds of Christmas and then go into the, the plains and the whites, welcoming in the new year. For my third DIY, I have been collecting these little red cars, picking them up wherever I can go. And actually it's been surprisingly difficult finding these. And I think one came from a car boot fair, but the others came from a vintage market. So I don't think there's anything special about them. They just look a bit old fashioned. But I only wanted red cars. So I've got 2 red cars and a fire truck. It looks like a fire truck, and I'm not going to use this one for today's project because I wanted to attach some little bottle brush trees to the back of the cars to make it look like a little ornament, as if you'd just been and collected your Christmas tree. And I could only find 2 of these. I actually pulled them off a little domed arrangement I decided to give away. So I'm going to add on little tree trunks to these Christmas trees, and I've got a kebab stick here which I've covered in brown floristry tape. So I'm going to cut little sections of that off and then glue them onto the bottom to give me my tree trunks. So this is probably about 1/2 centimetre length. And I've got my glue gun heating to one side. So I will glue the trunk onto the tree and then glue the tree into the back of the little cars. So a little bit of glue up in the cab and a little bit of glue in the bed at the back. There we go. And a line of glue across the roof of this one. So if I wanted to hang these on my Christmas tree, I'd need to tie it on a piece of string or glue a piece of string to create a hanger. Actually, what I think I'm going to do is have these just sitting on the side, a pair of cars driving home for Christmas. For my next DIY, it couldn't be any simpler. I thrifted this jug, which is originally from Marks and Spencer's, for £5 in the January sales, a charity shop, and this must have been 2 or 3 years ago now. And I have found myself a rolling pin as well, also thrifted. I probably paid about £1 for this. And I painted the handles red, and last year I used my Cricut machine to put a decal on there that said Roll On Christmas. I'm not quite sure I still want the decal on there anymore. Easy enough to take off, just put the heat of a hairdryer on there and then a back of a knife or a spoon, you can scratch it off. But I thought rather than doing that straight away, I will make a little decor arrangement with my rolling pin upended into my container, my vase, and then I've bought some fake greenery from a fantastic garden centre I went up to near my mum and dad's. And the beauty of greenery like this is you can fluff it up. It always arrives really flat, but I want mine to come out of the container. So I'm going to arch the branch round. And of course, if you had access to fresh greenery, now is the absolute perfect time to be bringing your fresh greenery indoors. I just didn't want to have my handle of my rolling pin sitting in water. That's why I've gone for the fake greenery. So a couple of stems there. I want to show off the little pine cones if I can. Just adjust that so it sits nicely inside. And there we have what must be the world's simplest piece of decor ready for the kitchen. Now, on the subject of being in the kitchen, I've also been thrifting throughout the year, and I found myself an enamel cup. This cost me a couple of pounds, and it was in one of our safari sales around town in the middle of the summer. So this has been packed away for quite some time. This teapot cost me about £5 from the charity shop. Really pleased with that. And in fact, it looks like it's never been used. And then a few years ago, I think I bought this at a vintage sale. So it probably cost me a bit more. Perhaps it might have been £8, possibly £10. An enamel pot, and I think it's just got some signs of yucky stuff at the bottom. Possibly that's chalk dust. I think at one time I was using this in the kitchen to keep chalk in for our chalkboard. Now this was made in Poland, so I thought they would make a really great little vignette on the side here in the kitchen with the coffee mug. And of course, something will always look better with a little bit of festive greenery, particularly with the red and the green together, opposite colours on the colour wheel. They always look so fabulous at Christmas time. So I might put one stem in here and another in here, just to group them together, having it splaying out. And then the problem always is, what do you do with the lid? And I thought perhaps I might be able to reposition the lid on just so it's all kept together. So what did you think of those really quick DIYs? Let me know which is your favourite. Perhaps it was the pastry cutters in the jar. And should I add my fairy lights to that? Not sure at the moment. And how about the little candy cane and toadstool decorated jars with my festive flowering bulbs? Or perhaps you really like my little red cars with their Christmas trees driving home for Christmas, in the words of Chris Rea. And then my last two DIYs. What could be simpler? Getting yourself a festive themed jug and adding in perhaps all your red kitchen implements. I've got some spatulas as well. I might add those just to make it look more purposeful in my kitchen. And it's always time for a cuppa in this house. So here we have it, my red enamel teapot with a flourish of festive greenery and a mug waiting for a brew. I do hope you've enjoyed these quick 5 DIYs. Don't forget to give this video a like, and why not share it with your friends. I'll leave a link to the playlist for the other vlogmas videos I'll be filming this festive season, and also to the playlist I made 3 years ago. You might like to look back for some more decorating and flower arranging ideas to see you through the festive period. That's all from me for now, and I'll see you tomorrow.